Hello, friends, and welcome to a special edition of WOD right here on a Friday evening. Getting you ready before you tune into your Friday night SmackDown. 2 episodes this week, one on Friday evening before SmackDown, then part 2 tomorrow, Saturday morning. Tune in 10 a.m. Eastern Time, right back here on Boom Broadcasting for part 2 of WOD. With so much wrestling going on this weekend, it was no way I could put out 5 to 6 prediction shows all in one show. So I reached out to the brand and said, hey, can I get this slot and do a live show on Friday right before we go into SmackDown? Then as soon as SmackDown rolls off, you're going to get a live nightcap with my boy mouthing off with Mike, breaking down all the Friday night SmackDown edition. But here we are on the special edition of WOD because we got a lot of wrestling to talk about on this weekend. AEW, TNA, WWE, NXT, Ring of Honor. Everybody's doing something, and I got to give some predictions. You're watching the special edition of WOD on a Friday evening right here on Boom Broadcasting. Hit the theme music. Let's go. Welcome back to WOD right here on the Boom Broadcasting on the Friday evening special edition of WOD. Don't forget, soon as SmackDown rolls off, tune into Boom Broadcasting right here for the nightcap with my boy mouthing off with Mike right here live on the Boom Broadcast Network. We have had a tremendous week of wrestling entertainment bestowed before us right in front of our eyes. Monday Night Raw. Then Tuesday night, NXT, Dynamite on Wednesday night, Evolve on Wednesday night, Collision on a Thursday night, Impact on a Thursday night, Ring of Honor Supercard going on as soon as this show finished. Ring of Honor Supercard coming on at 7 p.m. SmackDown coming on the regular time of 8 p.m. Then after that, AEW All In, Texas, 3 p.m. Eastern time right here on a Saturday. Then at 3 p.m. Eastern time again on a Saturday, NXT presents the Great American Bash. Then Saturday night on the Peacock or NBC, the Saturday night main event, the last installment of Saturday night main event for the 2025 year. Then Sunday, you got Evolve, kind of wrapping everything up. There's a TNA Slammiversary around here. Just so much wrestling going on. Couldn't put it all on one show. Broke it up into 2 shows to span it all out so that you can get all the predictions to get you ready for your weekend of wrestling. You talk about Netflix and chill. This is a wrestling and chill weekend right here. You got everything you need, whether you're a fan of AEW, NXT, WWE, Ring of Honor, TNA, you got it all right here on the Wrestling Network for your content to watch. And your boy's got his predictions. No need to hold back. No need to wait on it. Friday night, I can't make the predictions for Ring of Honor yet because it's getting ready to jump off. So we'll do those last on this installment of the show because we're going to do all the Saturday ones first and then lead into the Ring of Honor Supercard predictions right here on WOD. So without further ado, let's go to AEW. Let's go to All In. I've been waiting for this premium live event. I have been talking about the main event, Timeless Toni Storm versus Mercedes Moné, the CEO for the AEW Women's title. That's not going to be the first match I start with, but I have been counting down for this. And it happens to fall during the Great American Bash, another show I want to watch. So if you're like me, you can watch AEW and then go back and watch NXT at the Saturday night main event, of course, after you watch the nightcap, or you could do vice versa. Watch NXT, Saturday night main event, then roll into the nightcap, then watch AEW, or maybe you can finish one and right before Saturday night main event kicks off, be able to either watch the entire show or speed watch and go back and pick up after you watch the nightcap after the Saturday night main event. Or you may just say, hey, I'm watching AEW. You may say, hey, I'm only watching WWE. It's your weekend to make that choice. But I got some predictions for AEW All In Texas. We're going to start with my favorite group in AEW. No, not FTR. Everybody say, here we go, FTR time. No, my new favorite group in AEW. You know who they are. We hurt people. That's what we do. We hurt people. The Hurt Syndicate. Talk about a breath of fresh air on AEW. What they have been able to do, Shelton Benjamin, Bobby Lashley, MVP, and MJF, has just been remarkable. How those two guys took something in WWE that struck gold. Well, those three, MVP, Shelton, and Bobby. It struck gold in WWE. It struck gold. WWE just did not know how to catapult it to the next level. They came to AEW with the same idea, the same mission, the same attitude, and it has catapulted to the next level. Then they brought in arguably the best talker besides MVP in AEW with Maxwell Jacob Freeman, MJL, the biggest heel, arguably to me, the greatest heel in this wrestling era. And we got some good ones. Seth Rollins doing good work on Monday Night Raw. But MJF just, I always say, some people know how to be a heel. He just knows how to do it. The Hurt Syndicate defending their AEW World Tag titles versus Jet Speed. Jet Speed, Kevin Knight, and Speedball Mike Bailey versus the Partridge, Christian Cage, and Nick Wayne. This match is set up that if you wanted to take the belts off the Hurt Syndicate, this is the time. I always say with triple threat or fatal four-way tag team title matches, it's a good way to protect your champs if you're ready to move them on and have them drop the belts where they don't get pinned. And they always have that clause, we were never pinned in the match. So arguably we should get a rematch for the tag belts, or you can let them go a different path and work their way back to that story after they do a couple of matches as not the tag champs. But if you're AEW, the Hurt Syndicate has been the bread and butter of your tag team division. They've pretty much been the bread and butter of AEW Collision and Dynamite. Why drop the titles now? Come back, revisit this maybe in a couple of more months in a triple threat fatal four-way match. Have them drop the titles, but don't eat the pin. Hurt Syndicate wins this match and remains the AEW World Tag Team Champs. And I get to say it again. We hurt people. We hurt people. Hurt Syndicate for the win. Adam Cole, the champ, he is the AEW TNT, say that 3 times fast, champ versus Kyle Fletcher. It's an easy pick. I'm going chalk. Why take the belt off of Adam Cole, baby? Why take it off Adam Cole right now? Coming back from an injury, having to win a title, getting that good run that he deserves down AEW. Adam Cole remains the AEW TNT champion. I want to say TBS so bad. Now we go into the tag team match. If Ospreay or Strickland lose, they cannot challenge for the AEW World Championship for 1 year. If the EVPs, the Young Bucks, lose, they'll be stripped of their EVP power and title. Well, here's the catch-22, the caveat. Seeing the Bucks stripped of the EVP title, not power, would be great. They're still going to be in creative control of what goes on at AEW. Ospreay and Swerve, you need to get them back in that AEW World Heavyweight talk with Moxley, with Hangman Adam Page, which is coming up in a few more matches. You need to keep them in that talk. Ospreay and Swerve win this match. The Bucks now get to go on this little Rampage storyline of we're not the EVPs no more. We've been stripped of the titles, but we all know that still have creative control and have pretty much influence and power on what happens in AEW. The women's casino gauntlet match, we don't know who the participants are. Neither do we know the men's. We will know that at the beginning of the show, so we can't make a pick on that. Now going to arguably 5-6 years ago could have been the best match of the year. At this point, this phase of both of these wrestlers' career could not be a repeat of what we got in New Japan. Okada, the Rainmaker, or what I call him, the Evening Shower versus Kenny Omega. Continental Champ versus International Champ. What do I always say about AEW? They got too many titles. This is a good way, and they're doing that. The winner takes all unification where they make it one title. AEW, get a golf clap on that one. Because by golly, you got it right. You got too many titles on your TV. So now we're going to unify winner takes all one champ. Kind of what WWE did with the Intercontinental title and the European title that Jeff Hardy won that night. Winner take all, unification, one title. This is a good way to get Okada to drop the belt and send him on a different path. I just have not been an Okada fan like I was in New Japan. And I tell you, New Japan, this was arguably probably one of the greatest matches I've seen on my top 5 list of him and Omega. Didn't top Michaels and Undertaker WrestleMania 25, greatest match of all time. But a very good storytelling match of two guys that were in their prime, fighting the strong style, that New Japan style. No cartoon stuff, good storytelling, but we won't get it in this match. Okada, he's a shell of himself, yes. Omega, starting to be a little injury prone, starting not to be the cleaner that I used to love watching on New Japan. It's more like the dustpan now. He's not the cleaner, he's the dustpan. Will this still be a good match? Yes. It just won't be that 5-star classic we got in New Japan. Taking Kenny Omega to unify the titles, and maybe he can go back and find some of that old cleaner. Bring the old music back, Kenny, from New Japan. Bring the broom back in the dustpan. Come back to the cleaner that night and give us one more good match. And maybe Kenny can bring the best out of Okada that night and make Okada look good and make Okada. I still keep saying Okada has a little bit left in the tank to give us a good match. This may could be the one. Kenny Omega unifies the titles, wins the Continental, and remains the International AEW Champ. Unification. Now to our co-main event. And you can't make this match the main event because the main event is Mercedes Moné and Thomas Tony Storm. But our co-main event, John Mox, the champion of AEW, versus Hangman Adam Page in a Texas death match. The chips are in Hangman's favor. Hangman, cowboyish. Texas, known. Cowboys are in Texas. The Dallas Cowboys, regretfully, I hate to say that. Cowboys are always in Texas. A Texas death match. Hangman's specialty, a Texas death match. Mox is good in death matches too. Now I can't take it away from Mox. It's Hangman's time. And I know when Hangman has AEW champ, it just doesn't feel good. But this is a good way. Mox drops the title Hangman. You get back to that Hangman Swerve Strickland beat. You get that back brewing right there as soon as Hangman wins this title. Bad as I don't want to pick against my boy Mox, Mox always just hard to pick against. The guy just knows how to win these type of matches when his back is against the wall. But I think it's just too much against him. Texas death match in Texas, cowboy-ish. Hangman Adam Page becomes the new AEW World Champion. Now leading us to our main event right here on AEW All In Texas. The timeless one, our Tony Storm versus Mercedes Moné, the CEO, the belt collector. She's got more belts than I can count. She's my girl versus my other girl. Hard one to pick. Ladies and gentlemen, put on your seatbelt. This is going to be a breaking news right here. This is not a prediction. It's a spoiler. Timeless Tony Storm gives my girl, the CEO, Mercedes Moné, her first AEW loss. Right here in Texas. Yes, Mercedes Moné won the Owen Hart Championship Tournament to get a title match against the AEW Women's title. Timeless Tony Storm beats Mercedes Moné and gives her her first ever loss in AEW. Timeless Tony Storm retains the AEW title. Mercedes Moné has nothing to lose. She's got all the other titles. She has nothing to lose. But to get that first loss by Timeless Tony Storm really sets up round two of this feud where Mercedes Moné can get that win and win the AEW Women's title and have all the titles in AEW at one time simultaneously. Those are my picks right there for AEW All In Texas. Quick commercial break. We'll be right back. We'll be looking at the Great American Bash and Saturday Night Main Event right here on WOD. Friday night special edition.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. How to safely build a fire and how to control the flames. But I can only teach wildfire prevention. Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back, friends. We just got the AEW All In Texas picks put in right here on WOD. If you missed that segment, definitely jump back to the beginning segment for the first one to hear those picks. So, 2 more shows on Saturday, which is tomorrow. We got the Great American Bash by NXT, and we have the Saturday Night Main Event, which is the last installment of Saturday Night Main Event for the 2025 calendar year. Pretty much been like that. They should have been doing it and running all the way to the summer and ended in the summer. Great job, WWE. You started back in December, ran this thing for 3-4 spot shows, glorified house shows, and now we're getting to the ending of the climax with this one to set up next year's Saturday Night Main Event. Good job, Trips. Now we look at the NXT Great American Bash. NXT has been on fire. And we're going to start with arguably one of the most underneath matches on the card is going to turn out to be a good match. Javon Evans versus Jasper Troy. Your boy get bouncy. North Carolina's own. Come on, North Carolina, stand up. Take your shirt off. Twist it around your head. Spin it like a helicopter. So you know what that means. Your boy gets bouncy. Javon Evans gets the win right here, opening up NXT, the Great American Bash. Now, next match. Ruka, who is the NXT Women's North American champ, will be going against Izzy Dane. Ruka will be having Zaria in her corner. Izzy Dane will be having Tatum Paxley. It's hard to bet against that soul snatcher stunner from the top row that Ruka does. I'm sorry, Izzy Dane, as bad as I want to pick you. Ruka remains the NXT Women's North American Champion. And we see another soul snatch by the soul snatcher. Well, Undertaker may need to give her permission to borrow that line, digging holes and burying souls. She's snatching another soul. Ruka for the win. Now, another match right here on the NXT Great American Bash, a tag match. Somebody to me that felt like this person in NXT, I don't feel the aura around her like I had in TNA. And you know, we're talking about Jordynne Grace. I just felt like when she came to NXT, they would really build upon that aura that she had in TNA. And you're starting to see that they're shifting the gears with Jordynne Grace, going in a different direction. So this is going to be a good match right here. Jordynne Grace and Blake Moreau versus Fatal Influence, JC Jane and Phelan Helene with Jasmine Nix in their corner. Jordynne Grace needs a good win. She hasn't had a good one on TV. She had a few good ones, but she just does not look the shell of herself in TNA. This is the coming out match that makes you remember that Jordynne Grace is a flat-out star. We're going to see the Juggernaut. She's going to win. Jordynne Grace and Blake Monroe for the win right here in this tag match. Now leading us to our 2 title matches. My boy, the champion, the NXT North American champion. All ego, Ethan Page. Man, I like that guy. How can you not like Ethan Page, man? This guy is starting where MJF was 4 or 5 years ago. He's already getting to where he was at 4 or 5 years ago. Sky is the limit for all ego Ethan Page in WWE. He's going to be a great addition on the main roster because you need that prick heel. He's like MJF. Every good babyface needs a prick heel. That's Ethan Page, all ego. Versus Ricky Saints, Ricky Starks, whatever you want to call him. Ricky Saints had a great interview with Cody over there on Cody's podcast. Plug on that. But he had a great interview on that. You felt like this match right here is Ricky Saints' get back match. NXT North American title, Falls Count Anywhere in the building. This is going to be a barn burner right here with two guys that can flat out go and wrestle. You felt like Ethan Page took the title for Ricky Saints. I want to call Rick Starr so bad. Ricky Saints to go to the AAA match for a fatal four-way match because you need a heel to win that match. You didn't want Ricky Saints to beat two babyfaces. You need a heel to win. Ethan Page knew the job. Win the title. Do the job at AAA with Worlds Collide. Get back to NXT. Win again. And now set up this match at Great American Bash where you done your job. Hey, if he's done his job and the reign is over, I'm glad. Because now you can release the handcuffs and start phasing him into that main roster on SmackDown on Friday night. Or on Monday Night Raw, phase him in that roster. Would prefer to see him on SmackDown on Friday night. Just think he will fit in better with those wrestlers on SmackDown with some good storytelling. Him and Aleister Black can do a lot of stuff. He's got a lot more people he can do stuff with. Sky's Opportunity, Randy Orton, all of that on SmackDown. Ricky Saints will regain the NXT North American title. And Ethan Page gets ready to start setting himself up to start making sporadic main roster appearances on the main roster. Now, to the main event. Yoshiki and Mura with Josh Briggs, who Josh Briggs is guaranteed will be in his corner and that Yoshiki will walk out the NXT champ. Boy, he's got a task on his hand because he's got our guy. He's got the ruler over Finley. He's got the ruler over Finley. Every match, I feel like it's time for him to drop the title. Because I feel like he's ran this course in NXT. And it's time to see him on the main roster. It's time for people who don't watch NXT, that are only main roster watchers, to get a chance to meet the ruler over Finley. But it's just not time. Because what have I been telling you on WOD? When Oba drops this title, it's going to be either a heel, like an Ethan Page, to set up another person, a good babyface, to shock the world, what we're going to say next, to beat Ethan Page, or either he's going to drop it to a babyface, and that's Javon Evans. Either he's going to drop it to a heel like Ethan Page, with Javon Evans beating Ethan Page, so you can protect Oba by saying he did not lose to somebody that was underweight, underskilled. Nothing against Javon Evans, but this is going to be the story they're telling. That it's kind of like a David versus Goliath match. He doesn't have the credibility, but you got to remember the match with Oba he had was a great match. That's who he's dropping the title to. I know Josh Briggs says that Yoshi Imina is walking out the champ, but unfortunately it's not happening. Oba's dropping that title to Javon Evans. Those are my picks right there. Oba Finley retains the title. Those are my picks right there for NXT Great American Bash. Now, let's look at the Saturday night main event. Right now, 3 matches are only been posted for the Saturday night main event in Atlanta, Georgia on Saturday night, start at 7 p.m. on NBC and Peacock. We're going to go with the match that everybody's waiting to see. L.A. Knight, versus the Visionary, the Revolutionary, Seth Rollins. Good match right here. This will be a great match. 2 guys that can flat out work. L.A. Knight. You know, I keep telling everybody, give this guy his flowers right now while he's doing what he's doing in WWE on both brands, working both of them. He just finds a way, even when he drops the title, to stay relevant. Seth Rollins wins this match, but LA Knight gives him a true battle test match right here, but Rollins retains. Wouldn't be surprised if you see Braun Breaker or Bronson Reed. Or now's a good time to introduce another member. You know, I've been saying it. Want Austin Theory in this group. He down. In this group. This could be the night that my wish that I have been wishing since the beginning and the formation of this group got together, that Austin Theory would find a way to join. This could be the time. Seth Rollins wins. Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre. Batten down the hatches, lock the doors, put the kids in bed, tuck the covers over the kids, because we're going to have a fight right here. Now, what would make this better if it was in Chicago and we could have a Chicago street fight? This should be just a good old-fashioned street fight of two guys that have mutual hatred for each other. Randy Orton has not had a good run since comeback. Won a lot of matches, but the big matches he hasn't been able to win. The Gunther at King of the Ring, the Cody Rhodes at King of the Ring, John Cena. He had John Cena beat for the WWE World Heavyweight title, world title. Wasn't able to win that. Randy Orton finally gets his get back. He gets his payoff. Randy Orton beats Drew McIntyre, and arguably a good old-fashioned just slobber knocker fight right in between these two guys. I would open up with that and say, hey, burn the house down, guys. Come back in 30 minutes. High five, burn it down. Now, like I said, they're only advertising 3 matches right now. Of course, we know they're going to probably throw in a tag match or they're not going to throw in a women's match because you got Evolution on Sunday night. So they'll probably find a way to throw in a tag match. May see the New Day or may see Judgment Day, one of them out there do a tag match. Our World Heavyweight Championship match, the champion Gunther, the Ring General, versus, a couple weeks ago, I called him Oldberg. But boy, I saw him on Monday night. He looked like Goldberg. Now Goldberg has gotten himself back in some good ring shape. Maybe the t-shirt lied and maybe he's out of shape. But on Monday night when he speared Gunther, he looked like the Goldberg back in 96, 95 that I grew up watching. That guy that, all it took was one spear, one jackhammer, and it was 1, 2, 3. Goldberg said he's going to win the title. This is his last match. He wants to end his career in Atlanta, where it all started. Everybody remembers that night on WCW Monday Nitro. Goldberg shocked the world. United States champ versus Hollywood Hogan in Atlanta. Sold out crowd, jam-packed, match not advertised, put on the show that night. Goldberg beat Hogan to win the title. Does Goldberg have one more spear in him? One more jackhammer to beat the Ring General in Atlanta, in his backyard, the place that he made famous from playing football to beginning his career to winning the WCW World Championship. All that comes back full circle. Can Goldberg do it one more time? My answer is absolutely not. Goldberg, thank you for the memories. Thank you for my high school days, giving me something on Tuesday morning when we got in the cafeteria to talk about with me and my boys and all watch wrestling, our little crew. Thank you. Thank you for giving me Monday nights when I thought the NWO was unstoppable and I was walking around playing the guitar with my little WCW belt I had. All of that, just wanting to be cool, wanting to be a rebel because the NWO was the coolest thing since the sliced bread or cool to the other side of the pillow, as my boy Stuart Scott would say. Thank you for beating the NWO and showing me that, hey, Scott Goldberg's the real deal. Thank you for all that, Goldberg. And if anybody deserves a retirement match in Atlanta, it's you, where you all got started. Where Atlanta's famous, not just for the Falcons, but if you ask anybody that's a wrestling fan, they'll tell you back in 96. I remember that night when Goldberg, undefeated, first ever WCW World Heavyweight Champion, to unify the U.S. title and the WCW World Heavyweight title and to be undefeated, to do it all. I remember that night. I can remember it like it was yesterday when Goldberg won. I remember when Nitro went off, him with the fireworks going off, holding both of those titles up, crowd going crazy, people in there crying. It was pandemonium. I remember running full speed, sprinting 3 blocks down the street. My buddy who left 3 blocks down the street, running full speed, sprinting. We met halfway, shocked, celebrating in the street, under street light, had to go to school the next day, that Goldberg had done the unstoppable and the unthinkable and beaten Hollywood Hogan. But Goldberg doesn't do it this time. Gunther remains the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Gunther puts Goldberg out. Gunther puts him to sleep. Match over. Gunther wins. And hey, if you Goldberg, he wants Gunther to retire. He's ready. He knows Gunther's the next guy. And you know, if you're going to go out in home in your backyard, you want to go out by the guy who you think is the next guy. So he has a lot of respect for Gunther by making Gunther his final match. Those are my picks for Saturday Night Main Event and for Great American Bash. What I told you, we got one more show getting ready to go live as soon as this show goes off. It is Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor 2025. We're going to run through these quick because we know you're getting ready to tune into that. Then we know you're going to jump right into SmackDown, then into the nightcap. Nick Wayne versus Titan, singles match for the Ring of Honor World Television Champion. The champion is Nick Wayne. Nick Wayne will retain. Lee Moriarty versus the Blue Panther for the Pure Wrestling Rules match of the Ring of Honor, or the Ring of Honor Pure Championship match, pretty much a Pure Wrestling match for the Pure Wrestling Championship. I'm taking the Blue Panther to win this match. The Sons of Texas, Dusty Rhodes and Sammy Guevara versus the Infantry, Captain Sean Deans and Carly Bravo. Hey, the Sons of Texas is rocking right now. That's the reason why I'm watching Ring of Honor, is for the Sons of Texas. And I think who's coming up next. Sons of Texas retain. Man, I wish we could do a Worlds Collide with the Sons of Texas. Slide over and take on somebody in WWE. That would be a good match. Hey, want to go against the Hurt Syndicate and Unified Titles Hurt Syndicate. Athena, the champion versus Thunder Rosa. Big Thunder Rosa fan, but Athena's been having a long women's title reign in Ring of Honor. I don't see it coming to an end now. Athena retains the Ring of Honor Women's Championship. Now, our Ring of Honor World Championship match, Bandito versus Takeshita. I want Takeshita to win this one right here. Sorry, Bandito. Takeshita wins this match. Those are my Ring of Honor Supercard picks right there. It's getting ready to jump off now. So if you're getting ready to watch Ring of Honor, go ahead, head that way. If you're waiting on SmackDown, hey, go grab some popcorn, throw something on the stove in the oven, get ready. SmackDown's coming up in quite a few minutes. Then as soon as SmackDown ends, my boy Mouth Off with Mike on the nightcap. This is Sean. Thank you for hanging out with me on a Friday evening for part one of the WOD Special Edition Prediction Show right here on the Boom Broadcasting. This is Sean. I'll see you tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, for part two, where we do Evolution picks on WOD. This is Sean, and I'm out.